least you're not being compared to Amy Winehouse. That happened to me once. Somebody was like, you remind me of Amy Winehouse before her crack addiction. I was like, thank you.
Oh my God.
To be young. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Literary Lushes with your host, Samantha.
And Megan.
What was that face for?
It's real whiskey. I think I need to stir it.
Oh. Anywho.
My fake whiskey. It's too whiskey.
We are talking today about Stardust by Neil Gaiman. And the drink we are sipping on today is a mocktail called Falling Star. And we made it with 0 proof whiskey. But you can definitely put real whiskey in. And for those of you who are like, why the fuck are you drinking 0 proof whiskey? 2 reasons. The cooler reason is Megan is pregnant. If you haven't seen the announcement video, check it out.
Yes.
And the less cool reason is because I'm doing the 75 hard days challenge.
That's a cool reason.
It's a cool reason, but not as cool as carrying a human being.
I mean, is it cool though? I feel like,
Yeah. What's God's gift?
Oh, is that what that is?
Sure.
Nice to me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I've been very lucky, having a good time.
Having a good time had by all?
Well, I mean, there's some foods that I'm not allowed to eat, and obviously alcohol, but thanks to you, the 0 proof stuff is kind of filling in that spot for me. So.
Right? It's pretty tasty.
So thank you for that.
I'm going to pull up my notes here. Oh boy.
And I actually read the paper version and didn't take notes because I'm a slacker. But
I didn't mind. So this is going to be really good.
I read it yesterday and today, so I figured I would need notes. Maybe?
So a summary of the book, right, is it takes place at this town called Wall in England in like the 1800s-ish, probably, because there's no cars.
No. I noticed his stuff doesn't seem to fit like real world. In my mind, I just think he's on a different universe.
Okay. So no cars, whatnot. And Wall got its name because it's built on the side of a mountain, and there's this huge wall that borders one of the part of the town. Mm-hmm. And the only break in the wall is a 6-foot wide gap, and you could see the other side has this beautiful green meadow. But they have guards on the wall town,
preventing
anybody from going through.
Yeah. Well, they prevent the one way
from people going from Wall to the other side.
Yes. From regular people going over to the magical world.
So, spoiler alert, oh my God. Every 9 years, people are allowed to pass freely because there is a fair that takes place in the field behind the wall. The main character, is it Tristram or is the second R silent?
I was calling it Tristan. But
Tristram.
We can pull, my goodness, hold on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No more glitter for you.
That was a lot of glitter. See it all just sitting there?
Oh no.
Yeah, have fun with that.
These glasses have a little well at the bottom, so all the glitter just sits. Okay. Anyways,
so we can always pull up the trailer to see how to properly say his name.
The trailer? Trailer?
Yeah, the movie.
There's a movie?
Okay.
Wait. Wait, is it out?
Yes.
Is it old?
Okay. What's funny that you say that. That was where, remember I told you earlier, I was like, I have something to tell you that made me feel really dumb.
Oh, yeah.
That was part of it. So I'm going to come back to that. But you go ahead and anyways, Tristan. We're going to say Tristan.
Okay.
Tristan.
He is half fairy, half mortal. He doesn't know it.
Which reminds me of Carnival Row.
Okay.
The show, TV show.
That's on our list. We'll get to it eventually.
With what's his face?
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
And Cara Deveining Shrimp.
Yep.
Whatever her last name is. She's half mortal, half fairy. He's so in love with this girl who could really like Victoria Forrester, who could like really knock it out there. And he's walking her home, and they see a star fall on the fairy side of the wall. And she's basically like, if you bring me back the fallen star, I'll give you anything you desire. And this dumbass is like, sure. So he goes through to Fairy and spends the majority of the rest of the book on this adventure to find the fallen star. And the fallen star is not what it seems. And there are other not so good people trying to get the star as well.
For different reasons. Like a witch makes them younger. If some princes get it, they become the king after their father died. A whole bunch of other stuff. But after this point, if you're really, really interested, there might be spoilers.
So that is our super, super short synopsis.
Yes, there was a lot more to it, even though it was a shorter book.
Yeah, he packs a punch in this one. There's a lot.
It's a teen version, though, or teen something, I think. Because on mine it says teen, and he wrote stuff for teens.
I don't know.
Yep. See? See? Teen.
Harper Teen.
And then, see, for young readers. But he has like different.
It's not. Where is it listed?
It's not listed on here, but I'm saying, like, okay. He has a section of.
I gotcha. Well, I think, speaking of Neil Gaiman, I love his books. And I was going through the list in the back of the book. And I think, ignoring the short fiction stories, the only two I haven't read are the Anansi Boys and the Mirror Mask, which is, I think, a kid's one. But I've read like all of the other ones.
I read Neverwhere years ago in a book club that I was in.
That one was good. And
then Good Omens with You,
which was great.
And then this.
There's a lot of the similar tongue-in-cheek humor.
Yeah.
Very subtle. So Tristan's dad, Dunstan.
Yeah, it threw me the beginning of the story because it's like, wait, I thought we were reading about a guy named Tristan.
Yeah, I was super confused
for like until I got to the point, and then I was like, oh, I see. And then
this is literally starts from conception.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny when his love interest, I don't remember what her name was, but Daisy. And he goes up to her and he kisses her on the cheek, and everybody has a cow.
Like, oh my God, he kissed you on the cheek. And then she's crying. And then she's like, but he kissed me. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
That was a great impression.
I know. It was, but I remember laughing because I was like, it's so ridiculous. Like, oh, what a social faux pas.
And meanwhile, he's out having sex with another fairy.
With a fairy.
Like literally
Spoiler
right before. That was right before, yeah.
The night before. What a whore. But the fairy folk that he has sex with, who later births Tristan, said something to him like, oh, Dunstan, something about the devil. And so I Googled his name, and Dunstan was a bishop who was known for his cunning and defeating evil. Which he doesn't really have a big part in the story. So an important name for like not that important of a guy.
But you were telling me that there was a prequel to this.
No, well, so in my version of the book, there's an author's note. Where the fuck is it?
Which was not in mine.
And Neil Gaiman opens it with, Stardust was the sequel to a novel I haven't written and I'm not sure I'll ever write. Maybe one day. And then he has a prologue that kind of sets the scene for what that prequel would be. So Neil Gaiman, if you're listening to this, please write it, because I think it'd be great. I want to find out what happens to Jenny. But yeah, also I like the titles of each of the chapters in this book. They're very entertaining.
There was the one that said that's what Tree said instead of she said, Tree said. I was like, that one had me laughing quite a bit.
Because it did give you like a kind of overview of what you would see in each chapter. Got a chuckle. And I also like the tie-in with the nursery rhymes. Now, I didn't recognize any of the rhymes. I don't know if they were made up for the book or if they were actual.
I recognized when he said like the rub-a-dub-dub.
Yes.
I'm not going to find it. I'm like, but like the lion and the unicorn. Yeah, I had no idea. Never heard of that before.
Well, and can I get there by candlelight there and back again?
Yeah,
like I never. So I don't know if those were. I guess we could just Google them right now. Can I get there by candlelight? Is it? Oh yeah.
So they probably are, and he probably took those and came up with stuff with it.
I guess so.
How many miles to Babylon?
Because Candlelight is a horse in the original story. Can I get there by candlelight? Okay, yeah. And then how many miles to Babylon?
Yeah, that's the name of the...
And...
Oh, here it is. Sorry. Like, and back where you come from, you mutter them to babies alongside Rockabye Baby and Rub-a-Dub-Dub. Those two I've heard of. Everything else I've never heard of. Guess I need to get on that.
I thoroughly enjoyed the book. I also liked how...
I was confused about one part.
What were you confused about?
Okay, so it sounded like in the beginning, because Tristan obviously, his mother is not Daisy.
Right.
You know, he was given in a basket at the wall, and it was like for, you know, his dad, Dunstan, whatever. Anyways, and then they had their own daughter.
Layla?
Yes. No. It was Louise. Because I remembered it was like Sound of Music. Louisa.
With our two brains combined.
We can figure it out. Anyways, so in the beginning, it sounded like when he was talking about it, he's like, you know, my mom doesn't really look at me. She doesn't really care that much about me. Like this, like he made it sound like she was dismissive. Almost like in Game of Thrones, Catherine hated John. And so that's what I was like, okay. But then like later on, he's like, oh, my mom's going to miss me. My mom's going to miss me. And when I come home, she's going to be so excited to see me. And then I'm like, did I miss something? And I'm like, maybe I misread something. And I was going to ask you about it because I was like,
I kind of had that too. And my thought was maybe like, you know,
he was only gone a year though.
My thought was she obviously cares for him because she raised him, but that she kind of still, he's not hers. And every time she looked at him, she probably was like, my husband cheated on me like literally the day before.
Yeah, but is that really cheating?
They were still like together. They would go for walks, chaperoned by her mother and her younger sister.
But it was a different time then. And he was kind of under a spell-ish. He was bewildered, as they said.
I mean, I'm sure that's what he
said to get out of there.
Another thing that I was confused about was Tristan's mom, Una.
Yeah. Who was very, I thought she was, like, nice, and then she was bitchy, and then she was confused. Like, she had a lot of sides to her, I feel like.
I mean, I would, too, if I was being held a slave
since childbirth.
Ornery old witch who would turn me into a bird when it didn't serve her. But, yeah, that's what confused me, because when she was telling Dunstan how she became a slave, she said, like, I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it was something like she wandered too far from her father's lands and got kidnapped.
Right. And then
at the end it says that she disappeared as a newborn
from a witch. So I'm wondering if a witch stole her and then because that lady stole her from a witch? I don't know. Or was sold or...
Well, and then I was thinking, because she is a fairy and they say she has like the cat-like ears.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know what a newborn is like in fairy. Maybe they can walk.
Oh, maybe it's like Grogu.
Yeah. Maybe like Grogu.
Spoiler.
The child.
Who's
the
like,
Mandalorian.
Who's been like a child for decades.
Yeah. So maybe it's something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking. And the whole time, so Tristan's mom, her imprisonment ends when the moon loses her daughter if it occurs on the same week that 2 Mondays meet. And so
not meet. 2 Mondays.
Isn't it meet? 2 Mondays.
I thought it was 2 Mondays join.
Let's see. It's towards the beginning. They say it at the end too.
Yeah, that's where I was going. I was like, okay.
When 2 Mondays come together.
That's what the phrasing was.
I gain my freedom on the day the moon loses her daughter if that occurs in a week when 2 Mondays come together. So the 2 Mondays part, I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, the one guy that Tristan works for, his name is Monday. So it has to do something with like those people.
You figured it out that soon?
Yeah, but
Wow.
I didn't know how. I didn't know how. I'm like, okay.
That's impressive. No, the only thing that I was able to catch on early, and I was kind of proud of myself, was guessing that Una was the daughter.
I had an inkling.
I figured as soon as he said how many sons he had and the daughter, and he didn't mention the daughter, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be his mom, the Una, and then he's gonna be the grandson, and he's gonna be the one to get to have the thing.
I did like how her name is one, and then there was Primus, who's also one. Like he just named his kids based on their birth order, basically. And then how the dead sons were all there, like
that was so cool.
Shit.
That was so cool. I was like, that's neat. I thought he did and then some they were like, oh, I saw in the carriage there was really like 5 people in there. And then when I opened it, there was no one there. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. I could have sworn I just saw. And yeah, them just all shit talking.
They were just like shit talking to be like, well, yeah, he better fucking run. And it sounded like rustling leaves or something. And then when the dad dies, and it's like, yeah, he better go find that.
No, he said he better damn well find it. Or he said something, and I was just like, I'm not gonna be able to find it.
I know, that was pretty good. And man, can you imagine growing up in a family where you basically have to kill off all of your siblings and be the last one
I was
standing?
like, holy crap, how do you like trust anyone? And then I'm like, I guess it's the whole point though. I mean, if you're gonna be the king of like that, you have to be like cunning but like, how does that not fuck you up in the head? Well, but then everybody knows it's not personal.
Well, and especially the last one,
I didn't think they were going, the last 3, I honestly didn't think they were going to kill each other. I thought they were just going to be like.
I liked how, Septimus. Nobody trusted Septimus.
Oh, because he keeps poisoning everybody.
And Primus had that huge, oh my God, what is the word I'm looking for? That huge plan. It's not the word I was looking for. To the huge ruse.
Oh, yeah.
Where he like pretends to get on the ship, shaves his beard, doesn't get on the ship, goes off on foot, and then just dies anyway. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I was saddened by it. I liked him, and then I was like, oh, so he's gonna be the king. And then I was like, oh, nope.
Well, and I was curious too when him and Tristan were riding together, and I'm like, this is gonna be interesting.
They seem to like each other and this and that, and then I was like, oh, maybe it'll be one of those things like in the end, the star. I don't know her. I can't pronounce her real name, but I'm calling her Star.
I think I called her
Star until the end.
It looked like Evane. Evane?
I don't know. I'd have to watch the movie. But I was like,
okay,
maybe. Oh, excuse me. I was like, maybe that's the
glitter talking.
No, that was the general we just had. I said maybe that he could keep the star, and then her trinket could give to.
Well, that's all he needed was the trinket.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, well, then he can just take that. Like, he doesn't need the star. He just needs what the star has.
Which, if you haven't figured out by now, the star is actually a person.
Yes.
On the fairy side of the wall.
Yes.
So 2 things from that. 1, the trinket. So the thing that starts this whole thing is the dad of Stormhold takes off his necklace, chucks it in the sky. He must have a strong arm because it hits the star and causes her to fall. Una sees and so for whatever reason, when that happens, the star has to carry that trinket around with her until she gives it back to its rightful owner, who becomes the leader of Stormhold. Una, who is the heir of Stormhold, sees the trinket and knows what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then she mentioned something in the book, and I forget what it was, but it was something like, she was talking to the witch when her slavery spell was ending. And she was like, I didn't do anything now that I didn't do 18 years ago. And it almost made it seem like she had orchestrated the whole thing and had Tristan to put everything in motion.
I felt that way too. I felt like she was scheming since she was a child. Because what's the best way to avoid being killed? By your siblings.
Oh,
don't fucking grow up with them.
Yeah, very true.
Get taken away, get kidnapped.
Wait for all of them to kill themselves off.
Wait for them, and then just all of a sudden, oh, look at me. I was over here.
Because we don't know how many siblings were alive at that point in time.
Yeah.
Because that was 18 years prior. And by the time Tristan gets involved, there's only 3 left, excluding Una.
I think she had some premonition abilities.
And knew that was...
And
Well, because you don't know how long they live, right?
Right.
But she obviously had been around long enough to probably know, because the fairy folk would often go into the town of Wall during the carnival fair. So she probably knew about the Mondays.
Right.
And then she probably figured out the second part, that a moon loses her daughter must relate to some sort of star.
And I wonder also the guy who was in the top hat, who
Oh,
gave
yeah.
that family everything they ever desired.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he had
Like, or help orchestrate it. Because, yeah.
Like maybe he knew that by having Tristan and Una, or Una, whatever.
Dunstan and Una.
Yeah. If they ruled, it would bring peace, or, they'd be good rulers. And so maybe that's why he's like, well.
I know. It's interesting to see. Because then it's like, well, did every other Lord of Stormhold rip off his necklace, throw it into the sky, hit a star, and it falls? Like, is that like a thing that happens every generation or so?
Was he? Well, usually they say there's only one by the time the person died, but he had to find a unique way of making them.
So yeah, it was almost like she knew.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then I'm like, and then she picked him, Dunstan. I apologize again.
Yeah, she picked him. And she gave him the witch's favorite trinket, as if she knew it would help her future son.
Yeah. And I loved the evil fucking witch, the one that turned herself young, the one that had the two sisters.
One of the Lilum. I don't know if you ever find her real name, do you? Oh, you do, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, I'm just calling her the
witch.
Old witch. So she, although there's like two old witches, well, there's four if you count. Anyways, she goes and meets with the slave witch,
Ditchwater Sal, I think her name was.
And so they're sitting there eating, and then she's like, "Oh, I made you drink like truth serum."
That was really good.
And then she's like, "Oh," and she's like, "And you can't hurt me because we're sisterhoods, and you can't do that." And then she's like, "Okay, fine. Well, here's what I'm gonna do then, you bitch.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm gonna make it to where you won't remember, and you won't see." You'll never see. You can hold it in your hand. You can hold the star, and you will never know you're holding it. You could be fed the star, and you would never know. You wouldn't taste anything. And then so I completely forgot about that until it came up later. And I'm like, why can't you see her? And then I was like, oh, because she was cursed. That's right. And I was like, ha, stupid bitch. And so
when Tristan and the star go up to Ditchwater Sal and ask her to ride, I was like, there's something weird about this scene, because like Ditchwater Sal asked a question, and Tristan was like, oh, please hold on a moment, and he's talking with the star, which I don't know if she didn't even notice him talking, or if she just thought he was talking to himself.
That must have been fun to watch.
And then the star asks the question, and Ditchwater Sal like turns and asks the question to Tristan. I'm like, something about this isn't right. And then because I kind of forgot that too.
I forgot.
Like, oh yeah, she can't.
But it's funny as shit, and you laugh and you go, haha, dumb bitch.
Especially when Una remembered everything and would like interact with the star, and then it bites her and the evil witch in the ass, because the evil witch runs across her again, and they run into each other,
and she's like, I just have this field mouse.
Yep, I have a dormouse and a bird, and that's
what it was. Dormouse, not field mouse.
Yeah, which I think the dormouse was what was in Cinderella, right?
I just thought they were mice.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know they had a special.
I don't really know.
So okay. I did like that. I thought that was hysterical.
That was really, yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good to picture too.
I thought it was interesting that no one killed the evil witch in the end. Like the star's just like, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, she was so old. It seemed like she wasn't even going to make it back. And when she did, her sisters were just going to rip her apart anyway.
Like she tried to kill her.
What do you think was up with that mirror that the witches had? That had like the younger shadow selves, because when she ate the star that they had, the shadow self of her disappeared out of the mirror, and then only her sister's two forms were in there. And he even says like nobody really knows what it is, if it's like an alternate reality or like their younger selves or like their future selves.
Maybe it's their souls.
Maybe. So I also thought, when they were getting back to the to the wall for the market fair or whatever. And she was like, oh my God, I'm going to take it to me, Victoria Forrester. Oh my God, Victoria Forrester.
I was like, oh, can we stop with Victoria? Like, we know you love the star. Like,
and he like couldn't remember her
color of her eyes.
The color of her eyes. And then like, as they're walking through the wall, he's like, they're gray. Oh my God, thank God I remember they're gray. And at that point,
yes, thank God you could remember the color of the love of your life's eyes.
At that point, the star knew that she was bound to Tristan, so she would have to go wherever he goes. But she also knew that if she passed into Wall from Fairy, she would become
a stone,
whatever
statue.
The star would be in the reality world, which would be just a rock.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, the name of the book is called Stardust. I'm reading the book. I'm like, the end is near. The end is near. Here it goes. She's going to turn to dust and she can't do anything about it.
Oh.
But no, she didn't. Because I was like, that
and
would
how
suck.
creepy old is that is she wanted to be with Mr. Monday?
Yeah, because he was the old dude.
Yeah. I was like, ugh. I was just talking about this with the Ray because we were watching a show. I'm not going to say the show because I don't want to spoil it. But anyways,
okay.
the young 30-year-old is dating like a 70-year-old.
Schitt's Creek.
I said I wasn't going to say the show.
Hey, it's been out for a while.
And I was just like, that's so
also there's many
gross.
Characters you don't know.
I was like, that's so fucking gross. I'm like, old enough to be your grandfather. That's gross.
And so when I got to was it? No, in the book.
Oh, probably not that, but definitely old enough to be your dad.
Yeah, probably.
And I was like, listen, if it's someone old enough to be your dad.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no. No.
I mean, whatever floats your boat, but not for me. I did like how, so the star's waiting at the front of the fair for Tristan to come back. Mm-hmm. And Victoria Forrester comes up and she's like, oh, you're Victoria Forrester. And like, she's like, yes, I'm getting married, da, da, da. And the star's getting like more and more pissed the whole time. And then she's like, oh, this is who you're marrying. Okay.
Awesome. I also found it was very, because the front cover of my book has the pirate ship.
Oh yeah, a floating ship in the sky.
And so I thought it was interesting that was the cover of my book when it was very, I mean, it was an important part of the book, but I felt like it was a very small part too. I would have liked to have seen more days on the ship. And to see, because it seems like their relationship,
I was just gonna say that's when their relationship
cultivate like it kind of like, you know, it's
she goes from when she stops an idiot.
It's where she stops like being completely angry and hating him to being like, oh, okay, I guess this is. But then she said something and it kind of broke my heart though. Later, she was talking to Una, I think.
Oh, when she was trying to impress her future mother-in-law, that was pretty good too.
There was one and it was when she was still in chains. And she's like, yeah, I can see you're still tied, you know, the silver chain as a slave. And she's like, yeah, Tristan tied me up in chains too originally, but then he let me go. And but now I'm bound to him by invisible chains that are much stronger. And I was like,
because originally she was bound to him because he saved her life.
Right.
And
that's what she was talking about, because that bond, she had to be that way. Originally it was he captured her. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, like he let her go
form.
And he let her go. Mm-hmm. And she's like, cool, I'm free. But then he saved her life and then she was bound to him that way, which is a form of slavery. Because like you said she would have gone through the wall and died.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't want to.
And then she was bound to him for love.
Yeah.
Which is why the old witch couldn't take her heart, because it wasn't hers anymore.
Which I found interesting.
I thought that was a cool little twist.
Really? I thought you would hate that.
No, because I was like, okay, you know, it makes sense. It's like the whole thing about love is like, oh, you're giving your heart to another. So it's like you know.
I thought the reason she wasn't going to be able to take her heart was because she was no longer a star. Like she served her purpose as a star on Earth.
She served her purpose.
You know, like giving the necklace thing, and then she healed, and then falling for human or half human.
I mean, she's still a star. Right? That to me, that's like her species, is she's a star.
And just, I don't know.
She's just a cold, dead rock.
That was a good drink. I just finished one. Woohoo, though, that bit. And then,
I know there's all the glitter at the bottom. Look, it's like stuck in the thing.
I know that's gonna have to be sitting in some soapy water overnight.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that's what happens when you put a ton of glitter in a drink. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Super smoky, that sip.
That was
all the glitter.
so much glitter.
Oh my god!
Even when I did my makeup for the drink video, I'm like, I need gold glitter eyeshadow. I was surprised I had some, to be honest.
The unicorn.
I was like waiting to come to the unicorn. Made me so sad. That was a horrendous death, and then post-mortem death.
I know. She's like, we need the horn. Okay, take the horn. Do you have to take the whole head?
Well, more creepy is she made it come back alive as a zombie
to get out of the carriage
and then chop it up.
That she stole from Primus Stormfront.
Oh my god. I'm like, what the fuck? But I didn't like the idea. I didn't know that unicorns can sense poison.
I didn't know that either.
So that was really cool.
I did notice that when the unicorn and the star come to the inn that the evil witch creates, and the witch is like, oh, that's a unicorn. I can't get too close. I'm not a maiden or whatever.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of Ciri in The Witcher and her unicorn.
Yep.
Because she was a virgin at that point in time. Or so we've been told.
Yep.
Shit, there's something else.
About the unicorn?
The little hairy fellow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This question is a two-parter, and they're not really related, but they kind of are at the same time. So Dunstan, the father, when he sleeps in the barn that one night, he wakes up to a hairy creature being like, I can hear your dreams. Can you like dream quieter?
Yeah.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, because
we never find out his name.
What happened was, so Dunstan rented out his room
to the guy in the top hat.
To the guy in the top hat, and then he slept in the barn, and then the little creature, I guess, was like in a tree, and there was a storm, and this lightning broke the tree he was staying in. So like, hey, can I stay with you in your barn? And he's like, yeah. I mean, you're tiny. You won't take
you're
whatever.
Tiny hairy critter.
He's like, that's fine.
With a big pack, apparently.
And then so he stays, and I forget what he gives them for it, but he stays with them, and then.
But you can hear your dreams, apparently.
But then Dunstan started sleeping, and he could hear his dreams, which I also thought was interesting, because then they bring it back to Tristan dreaming, and him being like,
yeah,
well,
yeah. And you never
can
see
you
him
dream
again.
Quieter? Good God, that he would have hated staying in my house.
Oh my God, he'd be like, you are fucked up.
He'd be like, nope. I don't know what the heck you read and watch, but I am not staying here.
I know. Freak. I'm bummed that you didn't see him at the end, because they did have some adventures like with those evil trees.
I liked that they had the secret castle society.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
I did like that.
I also liked the can you travel by candlelight there and back again? And he lights the candle, and each step he's in like a completely different terrain.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I loved the tree.
Not the evil trees. The other tree.
No, the nice tree.
The nice tree that gives him the leaf.
Yeah. I thought that was very giving tree-like.
That's what Tree said.
And I read in the acknowledgments that he stayed at a friend's house.
Oh yeah.
While he wrote the first chapter, and she said. He asked her what she wanted, and she said, just make me a tree.
I know. I thought that was pretty great. Also, in the acknowledgments, I laughed really hard because he was
about
like,
the kids?
Yeah.
About the kids. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, my kids did fuck all, and I think it's that's not a direct quote, but you know.
No, it was, hold on. I got to find it, because
oh, yeah. The kids, to be frank,
were absolutely no help at all.
And I truly don't think I'd ever have it any other way. I know. That's why I like the way he writes, because it's just like very funny like that.
Absolutely no help at all. And I'm like, oh, my dogs were absolutely no help at all the time.
So overall, I enjoyed the book. I like Neil Gaiman's works clearly because I've read his whole like anthology for the most part.
This book reminded me of a bit of Neverwhere.
Neverwhere is good.
It reminded me a lot of that, and then like I said, I was like, did he write Carnival Row? Because then a lot of but then I was like, wait, nope, because they talked about fairies and different stuff like that. So I was like, wait, is this the same? And then I was like, nope, it's not. Never mind, take that back. But and I was like, that's bad. But I don't know. It was a great book.
It was Megan-tastic.
It was Megan-tastic.
Sensational.
And it was an easy read.
Yes.
And a fast read.
Well, like I read those other quote unquote kid books like Coraline. I think Neverwhere. No,
nope, that's an
adult.
One. That's an adult. That one.
The Graveyard book, I think, is like kid, maybe.
Nope.
No, I read that one too. Anyway, Coraline definitely is for kids, but all of them were good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Coraline.
Yep.
The Graveyard is an adult.
I mean, it is kind of a morbid concept, so that makes sense.
American Great book, Gods.
Though. American Gods. We have that on our list for this year.
Which I'm excited about.
And the show finally comes back after like a 2-year hiatus. So
which I'm not watching until after I read the book.
Good idea. Be prepared to Google a lot because that's what I did.
Speaking of.
Yes.
So there is a movie.
Okay.
So what made me feel dumb was it's on Netflix, I want to say.
Okay.
And every time I see it, before reading this book and like putting 2 and 2 together, I keep looking at it and I keep going, I should watch this. It sounds like something I would be interested in.
Like.
And then I'm just like, do I really want to sit through this though? Like,
I'll just watch 6 episodes of Schitt's Creek back to back instead.
Yeah, no, but this is like years I've been wanting to watch this movie.
Okay, when did it come out, roughly? Because I know you told me not to look it up, so.
I don't know. We'll look it up in a minute, but Michelle Pfeiffer's in it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The guy who plays in Meet the Fockers, that plays the dad.
Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro's in it.
So this is going back a ways.
I'll say like maybe 5 years ago.
Well, who do they play?
Michelle Pfeiffer plays the old witch that turns herself young.
Oh, because I'm like, man, if she's playing the star, this has got to be like
the
90s.
No, those people I definitely didn't recognize.
Okay. Right.
And who would you say his name was?
Robert De Niro?
Robert De Niro is the pirate.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
Why did I not know this?
And the trailer, and then so anyways, I never watched the trailer. I just, from looking at it, I'm like, this looks interesting. But then I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I remember when I was looking up to buy the book, it kept trying to get me to buy the movie. But it didn't show the picture of the movie. It just, like, when I Googled search Stardust, you know, it was like movie and then book. And I'm like, book, movie. And I'm like, oh, they must have made it into a movie, or they're going to make it a movie. Didn't put 2 and 2 together. And then after I finished the book, I Googled
the
movie. And then I was like, oh, duh, you dumbass. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, this actually looks really good. They did have some things that were a little different, even in the trailer.
I mean, that's it's rare that the book and the movie are exactly the same.
Yeah. So a few different cast people than I would do.
So let's talk about casting.
Yes.
So I didn't know there was a movie, so I am untainted.
I was like, we can pull it up, so we're on the fairground. But like, seriously, the only 2 people I knew were like.
All right, so let's start with let's start out creation. Dunstan? Did you have any?
I did.
Your whole desk.
So the guy who plays in Kingsman and also Elton John.
You want Taron Egerton to play the dad?
Yes.
The dad.
Yes. Because he can look young 1 minute and then older.
Yes, he can look like.
And it also makes sense when I tell you who I picked for Tristan, because I kind of wanted someone to look and be similar to.
Okay, who'd you pick for Tristan?
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
The kid who plays Spider-Man.
Oh, what the fuck is his last name? I keep saying Tom Hiddleston, and that's not it.
And I want to say Holland.
Yes, Tom Holland. Tom. Yeah, is that right?
That don't sound right.
Tom. Yeah, isn't it Tom Holland?
That doesn't sound
right, though. Tom Holland. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That just sounded weird. Anyways.
Oh,
that's so pretty. I figured if Tom Holland was the son,
Taron Egerton?
would be a good dad. That's where I was going with that. That's why I picked. That's who I picked.
That's who you picked. That's who you picked. Okay. I could see. Just totally fucking blanked on his real name. Fuck. Balls. I could see Kit Harington, Jon Snow, as Dunstan.
Okay.
And then for Tristan,
I actually had him as one of the brothers.
Oh, any of the Stark men could be one of the
Yeah,
Stark
probably
brothers.
was pretty much assuming most of them were just there. Yeah.
Stannis Baratheon could be the dad.
Yeah, I was just imagining most of them for that family, but anyways.
Yeah, and then for Tristan, it would have to be like a youngish, because it's hard because Tristan's supposed to be like 18, so it would have to be like early 20s, and I feel like so out of touch.
That's why
like,
that's why I thought Tom Holland could do a good job. And being really like corny in the beginning and then turning more manly in the end. That's why I picked.
Finally hitting that puberty, bro. I know,
right? But isn't he like 28?
Yeah, no, he probably is. I don't know.
But he's still playing high schoolers, but it works.
Hey, it works. For the star, I pictured the girl who plays Ciri from The Witcher.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Just because she's fair. And it seems like they have similar personalities.
Yeah. I don't remember if I had someone picked out for her. I don't think I had someone picked out for her.
What about Lady Una?
I did have someone picked out for her. Okay. I can never say her name.
Charlize Theron?
Yes. And then the other old witch.
Ditchwater Sal?
Nope, not her. The other one. The one that...
The evil one.
The evil one that turns young.
Uh-huh.
I imagined the lady who's in Dogma.
Alanis Morissette.
Nope. She's in Dogma and she's in...
Janine something or other.
She's also in...
Men in Black.
Nope, not her.
Not her?
Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek?
That one.
Okay. Oh, she would be good.
That's who I was imagining because I was like, oh, she could be like...
I pictured Angelina Jolie.
Because of Beowulf.
Beowulf.
Ray loves when I say Beowulf because he's like, you can't say it normal. I'm like, no. I guess Angelina Jolie could be a good one.
I mean, her and Salma Hayek are like same but different. They could be sexy. They could be
haggard. Yeah, that's why I always thought it would just, you can age them up and then de-age them and, you know.
For the other witch, Ditchwater Sale. Betty White.
I was gonna say Betty White!
Just a crotchety old lady.
I really was gonna say
that. You got the part, Betty.
I feel like she would have fun with it.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so great. Oh my god. It'd be so campy. It'd be wonderful. I didn't really have anybody. Did I pick anybody for Lady Una? I just kept picturing, because it said her eyes were violet and she had cat ears. I just kept picturing the Depression kitty from Big Mouth, even though it's like totally not on point. You don't watch that show?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Okay, you said you had some people for the Stormhold princes.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter any order except for
Septimus.
Yep.
I kept picturing Severus Snape for that one because they said they had like the angular features and like the longer black hair, and he liked poison, which reminded me of potions.
I imagine Gary Oldman.
That'd be a good one. It was hard because they didn't really tell you how old any of them were.
No, they didn't describe any of them other than having beards, not beards, and
dark hair.
Yeah. So I imagine Gary Oldman. And then for the other brother that made it towards the end, Primus.
Yeah,
that one.
Numero uno. Carl Urban.
That would be good.
Right?
That'd be good. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Right.
I'll steal that one.
What about
The king that dies.
hmm,
I imagined the old guy that's Lannister in Game of Thrones. I used a lot of
Tyrell
Game of
Lannister?
Thrones.
The
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I imagined him being just like tired of his children.
Tired of their shit. Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, that's who I imagined for
What
that.
about the little hairy creature guy who with the big sack who helps everybody?
I'm just imagining some CGI.
Yeah, but who would do the voice?
Alan Tudyk.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
I feel like he's really good at voicing things. You know, he voiced Hey Hey in Moana.
That's odd.
Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, of course.
So no, but that's Alan.
Oh my god. What a range.
Right.
I can also kind of see like Stanley Tucci.
He's so good.
I know. He's so good.
Who'd you imagine Victoria?
I was just going to ask you. Who do you think for our lovely lady love with the gray eyes? Victoria Forster.
I actually imagine what's her face, even though she's a lot older. So it's like, damn it, I gotta think of someone younger. I was imagining from Schitt's Creek.
Alexis?
Yeah.
What's her name? Oh, fuck. What's her name?
But I was like, she's too old. So then I was like, fuck, I gotta think of someone younger.
Oh yeah. Well, she's supposed to be like
17.
Age. She is 17 going on. That's definitely 16 going on 17, but it's fine. Copyright. That would be good though.
Mm-hmm. For our Conscious Corner, this segment, we are wanting to let you guys know what's coming up. We're very excited for the new year.
New year, new us.
Because this is pretty much my full-time job now. That means I actually will have time to edit things that we have recorded previously. We have quite a few videos that we have done before I got pregnant. A lot of great drinking videos. One of them being like a powder paint fight.
Hosing off after post.
Oh, that might have to be like a 3-parter. There's Drunk Jeopardy.
Collusion. To this day, I still say collusion. Kayaking.
There's kayaking. There was us doing the 5K boo run.
Yes. The winter turkey dinner.
Yes, that one will actually go up next week.
And we have some good ones. Oh yeah, for that one, Megan and I tried the delicious Brock's turkey dinner candy corn, and we get our interns, Mike and Ray, to try them as well.
So that's exciting. Make sure you tune in for that. Also, we have other videos that we plan on doing, including a
cheese ball challenge.
A cheese ball challenge. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss that. I'm going to let Samantha cut my hair.
And now my palms are sweating. I also think we should try to recreate the cheese ball scene from The Office. Since we're doing the cheese ball challenge already anyway.
We might as well. How we plan on doing that is releasing a video every other week. So you have either one week you'll have a podcast, or you'll have these random ass videos of us doing.
We're gonna be up your ass all the time in 2021.
But I think you guys will enjoy it.
And if you didn't see our blooper reel, shame on you. You should. Megan did an excellent job.
It's a little on the longer side. I think it was like 14 minutes, but it goes by pretty quickly, I feel like.
Yes. In chronological order.
To the best of my ability.
Yes. And it's just, I was crying from laughing. So
it showed how far we've come. In our setup from doing the drink videos.
It was so cringeworthy.
Oh, I was like, oh no.
The house I was renting in that awful like yellow wall.
And the TV stand thing.
The fucking plastic side table and like a
and
blanket.
Then the plastic tablecloth that we. Oh, it was great. We're all grown up now.
Yes, with our mocktails.
So I feel like we're getting better. As time goes on. So hopefully this time next year, we could be making fun of the way we're doing things now.
Oh my God, absolutely.
People have better sound equipment on my end. And I'll have After Effects figured out and all that cool shit. So make sure you tune in first. All the great content coming up this year. If you are not a Patreon supporter, you definitely want to sign up for that, because we are going to start adding more Patreon exclusive stuff.
In addition to all the great stuff that's already there.
Yes, there already is like the Samantha making the.
Oh yeah.
Or no, did I post that, or is that a Patreon exclusive thing? I think it's a Patreon exclusive.
Yes, it's a Patreon exclusive, but you posted a snippet of it in the blooper reel.
Yes. It's just so great.
I got drunk and made cookie dough.
I laughed so hard when I was editing it. So anyways, so there is Patreon exclusive only videos.
Access to uncut episodes,
Yes.
written drink recipes, early access to some of the stuff.
And now that I have some time, I can go back to some of our past episodes where we've had interviews with authors and they allowed us to video record. But so there'll be author, and I'll have those as unedited as much as possible.
Yep, like there is.
I mean, if there's parts that
like
someone says where they live
or where they get up to go to the bathroom
or something like that I'll cut out. But other than that, you guys
or
will
like
have
if one of us get drunk and start blabbing about our location, Megan.
I do that even when I'm not drunk.
Yeah, I had to heavily edit the Great Gatsby episode last year because
oh my god, I still haven't listened to it. Still have not listened to it. I
even the uncut episode, I still had to cut because there was like personal information you were putting out there, and I'm like, yeah, we can't have this. I think you like give out Ray's phone number. I'm like, yep, cut.
Oh, what a wonderful year. So yeah, Patreon starts, or the membership starts at $2 a month, which is cheaper than y'all know your coffee at Starbucks every week.
Cheaper than a tank of gas.
This is true. $2 a month.
And it lasts you all month.
And you get extra goodies also. So you can do $2, I think there's $5, and then $10,
and then
20.
If you want to be white girl wasted. $2 a month gets you slightly tipsy. Yeah, but with the higher tiers, you get a cup,
shirts.
We run
other
promos
goodie stuff
intermittently throughout the year.
Bookmarkers.
Yeah.
We also have in the upcoming year, we have more interviews with more authors, which I'm very excited about. We have authors returning. Yes. We're
going to be closing out some series this year too, which I have mixed feelings about.
I'm excited and sad all at the same time.
And we have a merch store if you want to rock our sweet logos that Megan works so hard to put together.
I do have another one I want to put together with and change out the martini glass with the baby bottle.
Oh, cute.
And get a onesie for Alex. So in case you didn't know, I'm also having a boy, and we're naming him Alex. So.
There's currently a penis inside of me at all times.
You're so creepy. That sounded gross.
Sorry, Ray.
So Alexander is the name we decided on. But yeah, so I'll have to get something like that for him. But anyways, we have other non-baby stuff.
Actually, we're working on getting a stirring knife.
Yeah. Also, there's aprons, but I gotta go and put a regular logo on the apron because right now I think it's our holiday stuff.
Which you could see in our cookie videos. They have pocketses.
Oh, it is so adorable. So adorable.
So our next episode is going to be going up on January 21st.
2021.
And, oh man, it's 12121. That's a fun date.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
And the book is actually Ready Player 2. Which is kind of funny because it was Ready Player 1 and now it's 2. 1, 2. Anyway,
we're nerds. By Ernest Cline, and in case you couldn't figure it out, it is the sequel to Ready Player 1, which we covered, I think, back over the summer. Sounds about right. We could just scroll through.
I was like, can't we?
Oh, there it is. Wait. Yeah, July 23rd. Look at us go.
So we're very excited for that one. So,
yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So tune in for that.
And with that, we say, stay lively with your libations. We've been like, oh.
Because usually it's like, dun.